What's up, everybody? This is Rob Barrington here, and this is our results video from this past weekend's weekend pro-am. It was May 21st was the Saturday we're talking about here, and here are results from that. Once again, each week it seems like we have one top pro in the top 10 or near the top, and this week it was Sam Amer at number 2. And that gives us a pro leaderboard that looks like this right here. We have 3 pros that were kind of in the mix relatively high, and Brad as well had a reasonable result in there also. So here are our scores, and it's pretty much anybody's game going into that last week. With a top score, you can pull ahead in most of these spots. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with all the pros. And before I go forward, I need to thank you guys once again. I was thanking you for 10,000 subscribers. I now want to thank you for 2 million total views. I started this a few years ago with just the idea of promoting bridge locally in New York City, and as a supplement to my live classes. I wanted my students to have something to look at. And here we are a few years later, and it's been a huge part of my business. And that's thanks to all of you for watching and participating and being part of this community that has now become such a huge part of my life. So I appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. And I'm going to keep throwing content out there if you will keep watching. So stay tuned, folks. And speaking of content, I have one more thing to get to before I jump into the results from this past week. I have a new complete guide up on bridgelesson.com. And these are kind of the lessons I wanted to bring online years ago, and I just have now had the opportunity to do it, and technology has caught up to a point where I feel like these are the new way to understand certain topics. And the topic I wanted to do originally was slam bidding, and that's done and in the can, and you can pick that up today. But the next one was doubles, because doubles is a very misunderstood topic, and it's good reason for that, because there are so many doubles and they occur in so many other situations that it gets very confusing. So what I wanted to do is give you a complete guide to what I think are the most successful doubles and the most useful doubles in your arsenal, and give you not only a little bit of information on all of these things, but also a ton of practice with them as well. And let me show you what I mean. Here you're looking at right above me is actually the lesson itself. Each of these units contains a video and a quiz, and this all ends up being on your own time. You can do this whenever you like, but it looks something like this. And here you can see I'm actually in the lesson on bridgelesson.com right now, and I'm going to click on takeout doubles. This is the first section, and you'll notice each of these sections will contain a video lesson. There is me right there, and if I press play, all right, everybody, all of the unbid suits. And let's see what part of the lesson we're in there. And then as I scroll down, each of these sessions will also contain a quiz. All right, so you'll get a good piece of information and a lot of practice in the video itself. And then each section has a quiz. And if I click on the next unit here, let me show you what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go right to negative doubles. There's part 2. And here is part 3. You can see each one, video lesson, quiz, and then all at the very, very end of this course, folks, you'll get a full package of notes with everything you've learned in the course itself. And then at the very end, in fact, this coming Wednesday, May 25th, we have a live practice session that you can take all of what you've learned and add it in and start practicing right off the bat. Now, you don't have to be there live for that. You can take this anytime. In fact, 99% of the course is done before that even exists. And then if you want to practice afterwards, you can. That'll always be there for you. And then we'll do future practice sessions in relation to all these guides, guys. So pick it up today. And that's it for my advertising. Let's jump in and let's see what we were doing in the bridge tournament this week. And here we are jumping into hand number 1. At my table, I played 2 spades, and that's what most of the at least the most successful scores were. There were some outliers here, but really take a look at the hand. We're going to start by opening a club with the South players cards. It goes a diamond on our left, and look at this hand. This is the ideal spot for, hey, this is my lead directing overcall. This hand only has 8 points, but all 8 points are in the diamond suit, the suit they're overcalling. Let's get in there. Let's get that lead direct off. And then it goes a spade spade by North, perfectly normal. This is not more than 4 spades. This is 4 or more, and the same would be said for hearts. The only weird thing is if it goes a club, a diamond, double would just be, hey, I have both 4-card majors. But here, North just shows the 4-card major they have, and now we have a support double because East bids just 2 diamonds. Take a look at their hand. They have an interesting choice. They could Q bid. They could make some sort of mixed raise, but they're a little too big for that. So here they kind of split the difference and just made a normal kind of progressing bid to 2 diamonds, probably with the idea that they're going to bid 3. But as you can see, they never ended up doing that. We double, which shows 3-card spade support, right? The robots play this, and it's important to recognize when you see this, guys, if you don't do this, your partner will never know you have 3-card support, right? So the negative inference is just as important as the actual execution of the bid. When we do this, North is going to be stuck, though. Take a look at their hand. They're choosing probably between 2 spades, knowing they don't have a fit, but trying to stay low, or 3 clubs. And it's hard. Why would they want to progress to the 3 level in a 4-3 fit, possibly? Or, it's probably more likely to be 4-4, but still, it could certainly be my hand only having 3 cards in that club suit. So it looks like they took the least risky spot, and after 2 spades, it went all pass. This all came down to how you played spades, pretty much. I misguessed the spade suit, so I did not take the huge amount of tricks, but let's just take a look at a few of the people here. You can see similar auctions, right? This is kind of the most normal auction we will see, and that's why the vast majority of the crews here are just playing in 2 spades, right? North eventually just has to take some sort of action here that says, okay, I have to get us off relatively low. And at this point, you can see pretty much everybody's in 2 spades making about 10 tricks. The only people that didn't make 10 tricks are the fools like me that tried to do something weird and guess spades. And here you'll see the varying numbers of tricks. These right here, you convinced the robot to do something weird, and you did so by bidding 2 spades. Notice this is confusing for the robots because they think you have a fit. So now East is more likely to compete. And that gets them over the edge, right? Here in the other spot, it's not clear we have a fit, so the robot kind of stays out of it. These here are just outliers. Here's Brad Moss doing something funky. Now notice, this is Brad at his best. Brad got plus 210 for 98% here. However, if you look at the total scores, guys, I'm not going to call Brad out. Brad is one of the greatest players on planet Earth, but the way he plays in these tournaments, it's risk reward. And you'll notice Brad was right at about 50%. So this was his best score, but he was shooting for it and he got nipped a couple of times, and that's what's going to happen, right? So this is a very good result here, but you can see it's not without risk, and your final result is all that really matters here. So 2 spades seems like it's the best spot, and 10 tricks is the norm. And here we're looking at my table because this seems like the most normal auction, I would say. We'll look at some of the others, but you can see 3-No Trump making 11 tricks was going to be 75%. And the auction is interesting. You're really not going to do anything but open a diamond on this hand. You have to recognize that you are an unbalanced hand with the desire to gain force if partner makes any response. And that's what we do with our second bid here. We have to make sure to jump to 3 clubs. Right? This is the only one of 2 forcing bids the opener can make. The other is a reverse. This is even stronger, right? This shows the ability to play game opposite any response from partner, which here is 6+ points. So think about 19 or more. And what we're trying to do is show 2 things. Always an unbalanced hand, because we know with balanced hands we're doing something different. And a very strong hand that can't afford for partner to pass. So here, after 3 clubs, partner bids 3 diamonds. And now, to be honest, you don't want to bid 4 clubs and pattern your hand out. The best choice here with the spade stopper and the king small of spades is just to bid 3 now and just get to your most likely best spot. And you'll notice this is all going to boil down to what happens on the opening lead. And they lead a heart. At least they did against me because of the auction I had. And that gives us time to take a club finesse right away. And we might be worried about that. If they let a spade, we might really be worried about a club finesse. But here right away, when we see the king of clubs get played, now it comes down to, okay, what's best to proceed on this hand? And the really important thing on this one is we need them to maybe pitch diamonds. Now, diamonds might be just coming down and that's it, right? But if they're not, if they're dividing unevenly, we want to play clubs and just force them to take a pitch early. And this is before they know what's going on. And I'm also going to further sweeten the pot, at least for the robots. I'm going to pitch a diamond just to make it seem like that's an okay, safe pitch for me. Not that it would matter, right? The long hand would be here, so it wouldn't make any difference. And notice West is doing a very good job of holding on to their diamond. And they know, they heard the auction, a diamond, a heart, 3 clubs, right? They know I have long diamonds. So they're protecting that with their life, as they should. Will every player do this? I would bet against. So here, now it comes down at the end. I'm just setting up a spade, right? And I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. I want to get to dummy possibly to cash that king of hearts. I couldn't do that earlier because I was risking giving up extra tricks. They're not going to allow me to do that, right? I had choices back here. Right? If I play, if I play the king of spades, which was another choice. If I play the king of spades, I assumed they would duck, right? At least that's what I thought. I thought they would duck and keep me in my hand because they know that king of hearts is good, and they could probably count that I don't have any hearts left, right? If they think about the auction and the play. So I decided to play low, and hopefully they would duck on my left, but they were up to the task. If I play the king, I'm wondering if I can find out if anybody did that. Here is another player. They took a similar line. No, they did something different here. So there, they tested diamonds at that point. Okay, so I'm not going to get a good read on some of them, but we might see somebody that did this differently. The key thing to recognize is I'm trying to get there, but I can't. And at some point, I'm just going to have to lose a diamond as well. So at this point, I took 11 tricks, and as you can see, that was worthy of a second best score. The only scores above were kind of ridiculous. One person made 7. Amazing. And one person was actually in 6 making. That was a little bit of an overbid, but congratulations. So here, let's jump into board 3 and see what kind of trouble we get into here. All right, so board number 3, let's sit in with Ishmael Del Monte here. He finds a nice way to just beat 3 hearts on the auction that should have been seen at pretty much every table. It started with South opening 1 spade. West makes the Michaels cubit. They bid 2 spades. That's a pretty darn good hand for it. It goes past 3 hearts. And notice the discipline of West. They just pass with this hand, and they just get to play 3 hearts. Most normal lead, king of spades, right? I think that's the lead you're going to see at pretty much every table. That's the lead that I would make as well. And it goes king of spades, ace. And the moment you see singleton, ace, and dummy, you wish you didn't lead the king, but whatever. It's the same situation. But recognize what we know, right? Lefty is the one that bid Michaels, so righty doesn't have to have a ton of cards, right? Always recognize that. It can get confusing when declare is to your right and lefty has the suits, right? So just recognize that dummy's the one that, you know, has forced their partner to bid. So on this hand, we see a diamond to the ace. And then the queen of hearts, just a normal finesse. We can see the results of a cover here. So we're just not going to make it. We're going to play low. And watch this. The robot does something super weird. They just jump up with the ace at trick 2, creating not only a trick for you, but also a way for us to draw some more trump from them later. And let me show you what I mean. Now declare plays the queen of clubs, and we win the king. And here we just get to draw trump, and here's what we want to do. We want to put the opponent in the dummy because we should be pretty confident that partner has some cards over there, right? And here we just get the opponent to lead diamonds from dummy, and look at the robot partner over there. They're just going to sit back and take all of those diamonds. Watch this. They win the 8 of diamonds. They exit, right? They get them to rough and dummy. Hey, guess what? Your only choice is now lead another diamond. And here we go again, and watch this spade play at the end. Now they can just cash king of diamonds and then just play this spade, and they're hoping they're getting a trick, but dummy still has a heart, so that's all she wrote. But down 1 was enough for 91.5. Even if we scroll down further, if you let them make 3, you're still getting like 67.7%. So just letting them play 3 hearts is the right thing here. Beating it is the best way. Letting them make 3 is still a pathway to a good score. All right, let's take a look at number 4. Once again, a board where it's just right to let the opponents play. Notice going minus 140, playing in hearts, which is what everybody except one player at the top did there, is 85.8%, right? And that's because this auction is just going to be very normal here. You can see what happened to my table. When a heart passed 2 hearts, I actually chose to double with my hand, and that's not necessarily the best choice of calls, especially if partner chooses clubs, which they did. But now East just bid 3 hearts. There were other ways for people to get to a heart contract. Here's Brad taking that same action here. Other ways where some people bid 3 diamonds. I don't think that's your best choice here because you're just holding out hope for 1 suit versus 3 potentially, but 2 for sure that you're interested in diamonds and spades. You're not even that upset about clubs here. The big thing is you're trying to accomplish a specific goal, which is to either steal the auction or get them to go a little higher, and we accomplish that by just getting them to play 3 hearts. Notice them making 3 is 85.8%, and that's all you're looking for. You're looking for the best possible plus or minus score. And on a spade lead, we're just going to see this happen pretty much organically, right? It's going to go draw some trump, and we'll see that happen here. We're going to notice we're just going to keep exiting kind of safely when we get in. This is a happy moment for us. They cashed the queen of spades, so they haven't realized another spade trick over here. They could have taken a finesse successfully, but they can't know that. And here's where your patience just pays off. We're just exiting again safely, making the opponents come to us. And the rest is just going to be history, right? We're just going to let them take 9 tricks. We're going to take 4. And we are happy to get that many in a hand like this. At some point, they're just going to have to lead a loser. And here it is right at the very end. Most of you saw the same thing on this one. The interesting choice is that bid by South, right? What do we do? Pass would have seen the opponents play 2 hearts, basically, right? So here, making some sort of action here, especially knowing it's a best hand tournament, seems to make sense. And double would be, in my opinion, and Brad's apparently the best action in this spot to kind of get the maximum flexibility with your destination. All right, let's take a look at number 5. And for board 5, let's sit in with Radu Nistor here. He had kind of the most normal auction. Now, you'll notice that there was some players playing 1-no trump by the South. These were the players that chose very incorrectly to overcall 1-no trump. And some people might do this. You see a pro or 2 do this, kind of crossing their fingers, hoping the opponents don't have diamonds or enough diamonds to make it worth their while. And here they get quite lucky for a very good score. But here's the most normal one. We overcall a spade for sure, right? We have ace, queen, 10, 5th of spades. We do not have a diamond stopper, so 1-no trump is off the menu. Lefty's going to double. And notice this is a very good example of when we would double with a 5-card heart suit. Recognize that the bid of 2 hearts by West would be 10 plus, right? So they can't do that. But they should still show some hearts by doubling, right? And they do that here. Goes pass by partner. 2 clubs on our right, pass 2 diamonds. Now, you might think here with this best hand, it's important to balance or get this out of the way. Well, recognize that the opponents may not have a fit in these situations because West is simply taking a preference for the suits that partner has shown, right? So here, it is not as important to balance. In fact, sometimes it can be devastating if you do, and recognize how devastating it would be. They're in 2 diamonds, and we're going to get at a couple of tricks, and we'll show you how Radu defended in just a moment. But here, if we decided to bid and went minus instead, what a disaster that would be, right? When we could have just shut our mouths and played 2 diamonds. And notice here, Radu makes a very normal lead. And recognize that when we go back a step, what the heck's he going to do? Well, he doesn't want to lead away from any of those aces, and he certainly doesn't want to lead any of them. So his only choice is just, okay, let's lead a trump. It sounds pretty good. And honestly, that makes sense in another realm. Righty showed 2 suits, and lefty took a preference for one of them, usually a trump lead anyway. But really, Radu is just in a spot where, get me out of my hand, please. Let me get the heck out of here and defend this hand. And now they just draw a couple rounds of trump. They're going to see the bad news here once they play the queen of diamonds. Radu gives a nice signal. I don't know if the robot's watching, but this would be, hey, lead a spade, partner. I know you heard me bid him, but now, now that we're playing, let's do this again. All right, so here comes a diamond. Here's that spade through to the queen. And now Radu's probably figured out most of this. He probably knows partner has some values left. He's not sure what to do. So cashing the ace of spades is interesting. And now it goes ace of hearts, crunching the king. And now he's like, okay, this might be a time where it's right to take our winners. And watch this. I made this mistake. I took it one less trick. I played ace of clubs here. To get this perfect, he needs to play a low club. Right, and if he's figured out the values are on the table, he's going to take this chance. And now it goes club to the king, club through, and now you take 2 tricks. So well done, Mr. Nistor. That's why you are the man, and that is why you get 89.7% for getting 2 diamonds, just 2 tricks. Recognize how at this moment Once he cashes this ace of hearts, he knows, okay, clubs is the only choice, right? So now the question is, do I play ace of clubs club? Hoping my partner is a king. Well, if partner is a king, which if we're doing some math seems likely on these sorts of auctions, if we lead low, now we can get a club through and get all three of these tricks rather than just the two we might have gotten if we went ace of clubs club. All right, so there's that 89.7, and that is a heck of a result for board 5. So I want to show you, or at least I want to reference a few of the ways that this auction could have been bid. The incorrect way was my table. It goes a club. I overcalled the heart, and it went 3 clubs on my left, pass. And I chose to just rebid 3 hearts, which should still be extra values and extra hearts, and partner doesn't bid over that, unfortunately. They just pass. Here, John Hurd went the other route, or one of the other routes, where he doubled first. He treated this hand as stronger than just your 16, and it's probably because of the fact that he has 10 cards in the red suits and 6 cards in that heart suit. So he upgraded the hand slightly. He doubled and then bid hearts, and partner bids 4 hearts. The other auction you'll see is an auction that Brad Moss had. And here's where you bid a new suit after the 3 club bid. So 3 diamonds is going to kind of equate to a jump shift. And here, this is something you should consider. But again, it shows 18, 19, and who knows what the heck the robot's gonna do when you make these calls. But here, they actually do the right thing. They bid 4 hearts, and they get your side to the correct game. So if you bid it this way, you did well. If you just kind of close your eyes and bid 4 hearts, you probably made the wrong bid, but you end up coming out smelling like a rose. If you did what I did, which is unfortunately just rebid 3 hearts, your partner just passes, which is interesting. They had a nice 8 count over there, but notice that the other bids are going to be more forward going for your partner, and they're going to actually get you to the best contract, which is just to play 4 hearts. There's nothing to this play, guys. We're not even going to reference it. The one thing that there is you draw trump immediately, right? So whatever they choose to lead against 3 or 4 hearts, you win. You draw 2 rounds of trump, and then you just claim. You say, I'm going to give you a spade. Have a nice day. Right, so this hand has nothing in the play. It's, can you get to 4 hearts or not? And the 2 ways to get there are rebid diamonds instead of hearts, kind of give partner another chance, and then you can always come back to hearts later. Or just double and then bid hearts originally, right? 2 ways you're going to get to game. Those of us that played 3 hearts, unfortunately, were sitting there. And there was quite a few of us just going 11 tricks on the plus side, but only being in 3. So unfortunately, 4 is going to be your best. That's your 77.6. All right, 2 boards to go. All right, so I'm going to show you what happened at my table on this last one, and this is, and you can see my scores right above me here. I was, slightly above average with a couple of disasters, as usual. I can't seem to get a clean run in 8 boards, but here these last 2 were pretty reasonable. And the other tables, this was probably going to be your best result if you didn't do anything weird. And what I mean by that is you're going to open a no trump 100% of the time with this hand, right? You have a 16 count, you're balanced. Open or no trump. The people that did some weird stuff up there did some weird stuff up there. That's all I'm going to say. So here, 1 no trump is perfectly normal. Left-hand opponent is going to overcall 2 hearts, and we're going to see a convention called Liebensaal be used here. And this is just a way for north-south to navigate when the opponents have bid suits that are somewhat natural in the mix of these auctions. And partner is basically giving us one choice. They say, bid 3 clubs, partner. Don't do anything else. Bid 3 clubs, and that's exactly what we do. We bid 3 clubs, and then partner's 3 spade bid is where they make their descriptive bid. And here's what they've said. They're inviting us to game, and they're showing 5 or more spades. So 5 spades here, pretty much. And the question is, do we accept that invite, and where do we want to be? Well, we know we don't have a spade fit. But we also know we have 16 with a good 5-card side suit. So here, I would accept this invite to game, and that would mean I would bid 3 no trump. Here, passing seems like it's just wrong here with this sort of hand and this sort of these slow sorts of tricks. This is a no trumpy type hand. So here, we're happy to play 3 no trump. And notice, even though going down 1 seems like it might be bad, it's 85.5% on this hand. So what a big score for just being in a contract going down 1. And notice On this hand, they start off with a heart, and we, that's good news, bad news for us. We create a heart, another heart stopper, but also they're closer to setting up tricks in that suit. Not the best hand as far as trick taking potential here, but here I started just trying to create tricks as much as I could, as fast as I could, basically. And at this point, they've set up their hearts, but luckily they might not be able to get there from certain sides of the table. Unfortunately, here, they're eventually going to have some sort of entry, and here I'm ceding that to them, letting them take their hearts early. And at the very end, okay, I'll take the rest. Okay, down 185.5. And that is a very good lesson to you guys. When you see this dummy come down, I'm sorry, when I saw this dummy come down, I'm like, well, that stinks. I'm not going to make this, but I know that a lot of other people are going to be faced with this same decision. I haven't done anything super weird here. I've had a normal auction. So here, I know I'm going to have company. My job is not to be down here. I don't want to be minus 200 or minus 300. I'm guessing there's a few people on the bottom end of this as well, right? I don't want to be any of these, right? And if you were one of those people, trust me, I've been there as well, right? But here, stick to it. Try to take the most tricks possible and recognize, score-wise, you haven't done anything weird, so this is a spot many people are going to have to deal with. Do the best you can with what you have. Down one will get you a great score. Not panicking, I guess, get you a great score. All right, so I have a message for all of you that bid 3-no trump on this hand with the South players cards. Now, we're looking at Sam Amer's table, who was the highest ranking pro. He decided to go extra dirty on this and open a no trump with his 13 count, so he gets to play 3-no trump on this board. But really, anybody that accepted an invite or did something weird like Sam did, you took a whole bunch of risk when just being in 2-no trump could have gotten you 93.8% here. Recognize the people that are here are getting the best score. Here's Johnny Hurd. Normal result, even though he chose to open a no trump also. So he did weird stuff for sure. And here's Radu doing something somewhat normal, right? He gets to play 2-no trump, and that's it. And he gets to go 93.8. So all these people up here doing something what I would consider foolish. And here's what I'm saying. If my partner invites me to game, right, on this hand, I have a 13 count, folks. Do I have a 5-card suit? No. Do I have any huge source of tricks? No, obviously I don't have a 5-card suit. I don't have anything that would say this is a really good 13. So I would not accept an invite. And this is just a lesson for you. If you are not accepting an invite with this hand, like Radu here, you have the potential to get an exceptionally huge score, a 93.8, without taking the amount of risk that those people in 3-no trump took, right? So recognize that this is a very good auction here. My table, I think I had the same auction. Sorry, I chose to do something weird as well. I opened a diamond with my hand as opposed to a club, and I got punished accordingly because I didn't make enough tricks either by doing that. But here's Radu. Where is he again? Here he is, right here. Here's John Hurd, and here's Radu. Very normal. A club, a spade, 2 spades, Q bid in support of clubs, right? Hey, 2-no trump's perfect, right? I don't have enough for game, opposite 10 points. My partner knows not to continue. And if I just sit back and take 10 tricks and notice they get a heart lead, which is pretty nice on this one. And Radu is like, okay, I know you bid some spades maybe, but that's my best source of tricks. I'm going to set up that suit. And here, before they get a chance to do anything spectacular for their side, Radu has already set up enough tricks to be super dangerous. And let's see how he handles clubs. Did East pitch clubs on this hand is the question. I'm guessing they did at some point, right? Here comes the king of diamonds. Here comes the 10 of spades. And look at it. East is actually squeezed, folks. Take a look. North is going to play one more spade. And here it is. They're going to play one more winner. What are East's choices? Well, Radu has everything covered. If East pitches the 8 of hearts, Radu will pitch a club. And he now knows he can cross over the king of clubs and take this 7 of hearts. If, however, East pitches a club, South will now just pitch a spade, and they will take all the rest of those clubs. And in fact, South doesn't even have to do that. Excuse me, I would say heart. But South doesn't even have to do that because North has long clubs as well. So South can do anything they want. This is a nice little naturally developing squeeze. It looks like he's cashing ace of clubs first to see what's happening, and now he plays 10 of spades. And boom, that helps to pay attention, to know that 7 of hearts is a winner. And there it is, plus 180. Well done, Radu. Where were you on that overall results screen, dude? But here, very well played by Mr. Nistor, plus 180. And recognize you don't have to be crazy in the bidding to get a 93.8. You just have to make your normal bid and play it like a champ there. All right, so congrats everybody with your very good results. For the rest of you guys, don't worry. Every week is another chance to excel. I haven't had a really good week in a while, but there's more hope for us going forward. And the leaderboard is here. We'll see what the pros can do next week and who will end up being the victor on that side of things. And for the rest of you guys, we'll see you in the tournament. Hope you're enjoying these videos. And don't forget, the complete guides on bridgelesson.com. I'll leave a link for that in this video description as well. Jump on over there and see what you're missing. See you soon, guys, and good luck in this week's tournament.